Good morning, everybody. Welcome back again. We're going to sort of do a take two on this, see what we get out of it. Um, and I'm gonna see. I was playing around with this here, and let's just bump only. Nope. Okay. Um, so this, uh, and it's very small right now, but essentially was looking better. Did I change something? Anyway, this is a geometry nodes thing that I made that's very simple that just finds the intersection of two objects. Let's take a look at it. See if I change, because I was trying to do something else with it, and I think I might have changed something. Let's get rid of this displace. That's why. There we go. Okay. So it's pretty simple. It just finds the distance from a cube on faces and stores it. And this one stores a very compressed version into a vertex color, so we can use that for geometry nodes. And we're going to use that to do um, our thing today. Yeah, I can speak. Right. That's it. Cool. So let's save, and let's go ahead and get started on a new file. Just wanted to show you this because we're going to use it. New, general. So I've really been trying to come up with a good way to make this work. And I don't know, it's I find it challenging because we're used to seeing organic things infect tech things. It's a pretty common um, trope in our industry. Scale 20, and but we're not as used to seeing tech things look like they infected um, organic things. It's much more usually just built on top, particularly if we want to continue to look like a tech thing. So interesting. And I'm excited to keep playing with it. Smooth, yeah, turn that on. GZ, let's make it bigger. I'm just gonna make a hill today. Instead of we did a gully yesterday, so let's do a hill today. Just keep it different. And we will warp our hill so it's not a perfect circle. And I'm just gonna select that. Bring that up a bit so we get a little bit of that. Kind of a secondary rim. And something to hide our border from if we want to. Cool. Let's just select the center face again. One, and let's do random. And make it a bit bigger. We'll just distort all of them a little bit. Maybe too much, but hey. And let's turn off random. Okay, cool. Something like that. And I think I'm going to quad remesh it too. Yeah, like 150, sure. That gives us something I think probably a little bit easier to deal with. It probably might be a little bit weird, but that'll be okay. Let's go in and just make sure nothing's weird. Like that's weird. Okay. Let me turn off proportional at this point and just kind of fix these a little bit. Is that going anywhere? Let's actually just select all these faces here. and scale them out a bit. And maybe we will turn on proportional again, just to give us a bit more space. And otherwise we're gonna have some weirdness. We're gonna have some weirdness here, aren't we? That's gonna be weird. 3G. Grumble, 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 grumble. I'm going to do this. X faces. Yeah. And X these faces too. Get a little bit out of the space, but whatever. That's fine. And you know what? Grumble. Just gonna get rid of this entire loop. There we go. X faces. Yeah, 1. That just got weird. Vertices. Cool. 2. Select it. Fill it. Poke it. Cool. Now let's remesh it again. That's better. There we go. That's what we wanted. Okay. So now let's go grab our, make sure we rotation scale. We did. Append our auto terrainer. Node tree, terrain. And come back over here and add geometry node, terrain. And there's a hill. It looks like a reasonably good hill. I think we're going to use it. So let's just apply it today. Now, Shift D, duplicate it. And take our duplicate and bring it down just a hair. How far do we go? And minus 0.05. So 5 centimeters down, just to have it be fully separated. Now, let's F4, append, and grab some brushes. Name Blender brushes. Let's grab the Cirrhosis brushes. And F4, append the Cordyceps brushes too. And that should be all we need. Okay, so we're on the second one. That's important. We want to go to sculpting. And actually, we'll turn that back on to random, just so we can see. Because what we're going to do as we sculpt here, it starts to pop through. That's the second mesh underneath, but we're pulling it up. Let's shrink this down. And we're creating kind of, tendrils, for lack of a better word. Of as this infection, so to speak, has grown out of this central space. So it's kind of like it looks very veiny, and we want to keep it that way. I'm liking that. I'm kind of following the terrain a little bit, but not a lot. This is where you get to be as creative as you want to be too. So. And there. We can literally go absolutely nuts here. And down and out. Okay, something like that. And now let's switch over to our other brushes. And we're going to grab Let's see what that gives us. That gives us a cool spiky tower thing in the middle. Kind of dig it. And we're going to just do this, and it'll warp it out and increase the scale slightly, but not too much. And we're just trying to kind of make it bulge a little bit. I want to grab, where's this? This one. There we go. Some spiky bits. And we're going to kind of put them at intersecting points here. This is incidentally a good way to just make a straight infected landscape too, if this is what you want to do. You can stop, the metallic part and look, and it's an infected landscape. And it's a different material because it's a different object. So we can do different things to it. And that's looking kind of good. I'm going to kind of throw some of those up on here too. There we go. And just a little bit more. Add some of this stuff here. Can't get enough of this stuff. Just like making things kind of wonky. Cool. Feels good to me. Let's save. Cyber Infection 3, yes. That's where I put the geometry node thing. 2401 12-1 Cyber Infection 3. Okay, let's go back to layout. Now what we could just leave this whole thing as a separate object this size, but it's kind of big and kind of annoying in that respect. So the first thing I want to do is grab this thing here. Yeah, we're on the second one, right? Let's turn off the first one just to make sure. Yep, we're on the second one. Tab. And I just want to select the edges. Just do it with, just turn this one off. Yeah. 3. No. The rims. And that's, yeah. And we're just going to delete that. X faces. I want it to be a little smaller than the other one. It will make our life easier. Come back in, turn it back on. Okay, so now we take the second one and we're going to Q, add modifier, solidify it down about that much. Doesn't really matter. Just going to turn off even thickness. So it doesn't really affect the top too much. Let's see, does it? A little bit, but not bad. We could do it another way, just to make it not do that. If we edit it, tab A, E, G, Z, minus 0.1. Does that, but that's going to give us the same kind, that's going to give us a different problem. So I think I'm going to go with the first one. Add modifier, solidify. We just basically need to give it a bit more form so we can Boolean it. Q, solidify. Yep. Even thickness. You want to fill the rim? Yeah, let's fill the rim. Okay, so there we go. We're good at that. And we're going to go ahead and apply it. Going to be brave. Then we're going to take this, our first one, and duplicate it. And then we're going to take the very first one and move it to new collection, ground. And we're going to turn it off so we don't get confused. Now we're going to take this one, which is our new one, edit it, E, G, Z, and down. Because we can take it and this one and Boolean. Cool. Good, good, good. Let's apply it straight up. Come on, do it on the thing. There we go. And should be good. We should just be able to turn off our cutters. And now we have our Boolean object. And because we cut it below the bottom, it's still just a flat plane, which is what we wanted. So we can see we get in both sides of it there. We didn't have, it doesn't have thickness. Perfect. Good, 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 good. So now we will make our lives, it's mostly it's mostly quads, but there are weird ones where the Boolean happened where it is not quads. Let's see, how big is it entirely? Decimate. 64,000. Okay, that's not bad. I want to try doing I'm going to save first. A quad remesh again. Quad count of 64,000 and remesh it. Let it think. See how much it changes it. Hopefully not too much. Might smooth it down a little bit actually, which wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing. That's looking pretty good. Okay, and if we edit it, we see everything's quads. We have some tight ones some places, but it's pretty good topology. I think it'll play well with random flow, which was our problem from yesterday that I didn't remember, was that random flow doesn't play well with non-quads. So, okay, so we got this now. But now I'm going to do, before we start even playing with materials and that kind of thing, let's F4 append to Cyber Infection 3 test blend node tree, and I want to grab, was it intersection? Test for intersection. Yes, that's the one I created. Append. And we can give this one add modifier geometry nodes test for intersection. And it's not working because it's looking for this cube because that's what's hard coded into the geometry node. But we just go through and edit it, geometry node, and where we have cube, we can just get rid of it and grab retopo circle 4. And that should give us our edge. And if we look here, how we get it? Let's get viewer node. View output viewer. There we go. And I need this geometry too, don't I? Yep. Yep. Cool. We're getting edging on it. You can see the black there, and we can get a little bit more if we bring this back out slightly to there. So we could see that we're getting, we now know the rim, and we're transmitting that to a group output called distance and distance call, which means over here on our object, we can go to attribute and we have let's see, and make sure I'm doing it out. Distance, face corner. Oh, here. Output attributes distance as distance, and distance call as distance call. Cool. And we should have those able to have them over here now. Let's see, color attributes, new, name, distance, call. Okay, should be good. And we should have it as regular attribute distance now as well. And let's see if we do. Save, go back to mute this. Just go away. Okay, and layout. Okay. If we select this object and go to shading, you can see where they both are, but Shift A, search color attribute, or just attribute. I didn't even use color attribute. Shift A, search attribute of distance. And let's see what we get. There it is. So, woohoo. It's black where our object is, and we turn off the other. Nope, we can go see. So that's the intersection of those two objects. Looks neat. It's cool. So we have it. Excellent. Save again. Bring back our first object. Now I think we're ready to start playing. And I'm liking it. I think it's a cool shape. Let's see what happens if we take this object and start playing with it with random flow a little bit. See if we like it or not. I don't know the answer, but a little weirded out by that. That got a bit strange. Let's see, Shift N. I want to go with, wait, G normal. 0.8. Now, so it's selecting everything as, let's just check the normals on it. Face orientation. No, it's looking good. It's just a bit of a weird shape. All right, well, it might do something weird, but it's not that big right there. Tab, A, cool, Shift Q, random panels. We'll leave it on walk for right now, panel seed. It's gonna think, but it's not that huge. It should be okay. 200,000 polys. It's a little on the large side. Yeah, and we want non-even. Good morning, Roman Geek. Happy Friday. Having a sip of coffee. All right, so we have a weird, I don't particularly like it, but we have a weird cut thing. Let's go to square, see what that gives us. Ah, yeah, square is much better. Hey, Brian. Okay. So, okay, we have some panels. Let's see if we can adjust them a little bit. Minimum panel size of 1%. Let's see what that does. Should make it a little bit bigger. Actually, I'm gonna take a max panel size to like 8%. And our minimum panel size to like 4%. Let's see if that helps us. Not really. Doesn't super change. I don't hate it though. Like that's fine. Kind of liking it up here. Just kind of wanted a few more cuts to it. Let's see. Just see what radial does. Slightly different. I think I like radial more. Yeah, I think I do like radial more. And radial, I'm going to say our max panel size should be 5. Keep it smaller. Yes, and our minimum of like 2. Maybe even our max goes back down to like 3. Yes, there we go. That's starting to feel techie. And I like that it's got these curves to it too. That's what I was trying to avoid. Last time we definitely went with like the cubic, like that race from Destiny that builds everything in cubes, which is neat. But I kind of wanted to try this today as something different. Okay, I'm liking that. Let's increase our thickness of our inset to like 0.02 because it is kind of big. And our depth to like also 0.02. Gives us more of a chunk to it. And let's see, one more. Let's keep going. Yeah, I want to see, can we use vertex groups without it blowing up? That would be awesome if we can. Let's try it. I think yesterday it kind of exploded when I tried to do this. But I would love for it to work if it does. It's thinking. I saved right beforehand, so if it bombs, we're good. Okay, it worked. Good. Because now, if we want to, let's just see what happens if we had some screws, just for some weird look to it. Looks like it's selected those already as our edges. Cool. Yeah, feels good, man. Okay, come out of there. Q, utility, panel screws. And we want limited dissolve, max angle of, let's try to start with. Custom, I just feel like we may get a whole bunch of screws. That's kind of my, I don't really want it to give us like 8 million screws on every panel kind of thing. That could be unpleasant. And may yet happen. Nope, no, it seems like it's doing pretty good. It's doing what we wanted. Nice. I'm gonna increase our margin to like 0.05. Getting some random screws in the middle somewhere, but that's okay. Some floating in midair seems like, but I can live. Again, it's just kind of supposed to look weird anyway. Let's just make them a little bit bigger. Let's see, that's too big. I don't know why they're so small. They shouldn't probably be that small. What's our item? No, we're set to scale is correct. But, all right, somehow it thinks that they're tiny and they're not. And that's weird. But hey, cool. Let's try and get some of the flying ones though. So those, tab, no, just tab the screws. And see. I don't know why we have flying screws. And I don't really need all of them anyway, so whatever. If we get rid of a few extras by accident, it's no big deal. Again, I'm just kind of curious as to where they came from, but whatever. Vertices, delete them. Cool. See a few more. Mostly if we can get rid of them, it just decreases our mesh density a little bit, and that's fine. I don't need them on these tiny little places anyway. There we go. Control L. And X vertices. And I think we are doing well. We are managing the 30-minute rule nicely for me. For me, if I'm kind of feeling good about it 30 minutes in, normally it's a good sign. And I'm feeling pretty good about it. So cool. Yeah, we got weird collections of screws, but that is fine. And a few more that I see we need to get rid of. All right. I think as we find them, we're just going to get rid of a couple. I'll probably be doing this the entire rest of this time, just so we're all clear, right? We'll be like moving our camera and be like, fuck, more floating screws, but whatever. It's not that hard to get rid of them. Okay. Now maybe let's try to play with that landscape stuff, the edging that we created, because I think that'll be fun. I'm going to leave our ground as our auto terrain, I think. This one might change. So I'm just going to auto landscape, just going to remove that. I don't want it to be auto landscape. I don't want the screws to be auto landscape. I don't think we even need this one anymore, except it's being used as our intersection object. Actually, let's just get rid of it. And this one, we'll have to edit, and we'll change the circle from that to panel. And we should be okay again. And okay, save. Or we should still have our attributes, distance call. Do we have just distance? That should be just distance. Color attributes, distance call. Well, it's fine. Let's see how it goes. Back to here. This one, shading. This is our entire space for this geometry node, and it is big and bulky, and we are going to merge it all into a group. Up. And there is the landscape group, just so we can do fun things otherwise. Now, Shift A, search attribute and name of distance. Now let's see if we have it. We do. Good, 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 good. And if I turn off that just to make sure, now we have it. Cool. And let's see if we have distance call and what it looks like too. Search color attribute, distance call. Looks about the same. Yeah. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. The only concern I have, we may have to tweak it a little bit, but let's see. Is I don't want those grays in the middle there. If I could get rid of them, that would be nice. I'm not sure that I can though. So whatever, we'll figure it out. Okay. So what I want to try to do is which one was the more cut in one? We want to use this one. Connect that back to surface. Yeah, those are our screws. I was like, what? Okay. Create a displacement node, add it to here, and set our mid-level to 0. Now we're going to take this, ramp it, flip it, color into height. And we need to come over to our material, settings, and turn from bump only to displacement and bump. And clearly we get too much, but it does chunk up that. And it's giving it to us like that. And this was my problem, is I don't necessarily want it on the inner side. So let's bring it down. So it's much more just around those edges there. Cool. And then let's come over here and search and do a math. Height, we're not adding, we're multiplying by 0.25, say. Cool. And it's giving us a chunky bump around that, but it's kind of a little harsh, which might be okay given that it's metal we're doing. So it might be all right, but let's see. Yeah, that's actually not awful. I'm okay with that. And let's turn back off our panel again. So it's just that. And we're looking at, again, white is that. Okay. So let's bring that back there. Shift A, search. We'll do a principled for right now. We may change it. In fact, let's do this and just make it red so I can see it. And full on metallic 100. And then let's just group it and up. Even though it doesn't do anything on its own, now I can take these two and use this as our factor. Cool. So we have the red where that is, which is what we wanted. Is there still white somewhere? Oh, I think it's just because it's metallic. Oh, cool. It passed through the, how nice is that? Look at that. That's a new thing. Roughness of 1. And cool. Turn back on our other one. And alrighty. Cool. Look at that. That's cool. Let's start playing with some materials, see what we can find. And then we'll start playing with some scatter, or yeah, that too. We could scatter right along this edge. We have that control and ability, but I don't know that we will. All right. Regardless, layout, save again. This bad boy here, give him a material, and we want to give him something that has grunge to it. We could just go with the metal sheeting plane. And let's see, tab, A, U, smart UV project, sure. Take it a little while, but shouldn't be too bad. Tab, and let's see what that gives us. I mean, it's kind of cool. It's a little bit weird the way it's stretching like that, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Let's try it again. Tab, U, project from view. I'll select a straight down, and now we get some weird stretches. That doesn't feel bad to me. Let's try a couple of this just to see, but I'm not hating. Hull, that's just dark, but we can maybe do something like that. And just to see, I don't think sci-fi doesn't have the grunge to it. I mean, we could add it, but I don't actually think I like it that much for this. No, I think we're going to go back to gray, and then we're going to tweak it. Yeah, I don't like that line. That's the one thing I don't like about it so much. UV editing. Let's scale it up. S10. Let's see what that gives us. Because it might get much bigger. Tap. Yeah, that's cool. Alrighty. And I'm kind of liking even the red, honestly. It just feels kind of grody. We may tweak that some more, though. We have that ability. We could even make it glow if we wanted to. But I'm kind of wanting to try to do something in daylight on this one, just because we keep hiding it in darkness. And it don't think that shows off the design super well. Although, I don't know. I could go either way. It may glow. Let's close this down. But that feels way more like a metal infection to me than what we had yesterday. So already I feel much better about this just from a design brief perspective. Let's go grab our screws and we'll make them grunge metal, maybe? Yeah, that looks cool. Okay. Nice. Nice. We don't need this cube. We can just delete it. It was from that original version of the geometry nodes. That's such a powerful geometry node. It's so simple. I'm really into it. Really happy. My girlfriend was just laughing at me last night because I'm like, I figured out how to do this. I was like, yeah, I'm a Blender nerd. I admit it. Okay. Geoscatter. Let's go to our ground. Do our regular scatter first. And I'm going to move this at least, yes, into into tech infection. Okay, yeah, good. Screws, I don't know that I'm going to mess with them right now for that. I don't know that we need to worry about it so much. Okay, anyway, back to here. Biome, open biomes, go with our desert. Dry biome 5, 3 with the big rocks. 5 has some bushes and light trees. Let's do 5. So maybe we may add the rocks from 3 or even 7 too, but let's see what 5 gives us. Excuse me. Thinking. Putting stuff here. Cool. Yep, there they go. Done. Got a big tree. It's not a huge environment, which is fine. Like it's like 20 meters, right? But let's come over here and upward obstruct on tech infection. So we had nothing growing through it. Oh, that's interesting. The tree was already in there. I'm going to try a different tree distribution because I wouldn't mind 1 or 2. There's a tree. I almost feel like this was a big tree that's been turned into something techy, which is cool, actually. I can dig on that. Fact, let's just put a person in here so I can see exactly what we're dealing with. Because I can always make this thing bigger now too if I need to. That it'll scale up just fine. So if it's not big enough, we just scale it up and that'll work. And now would be the time to do that. Because I like the relationships, but I'm not sure I like the overall size. Human gen. Give me a guy. I want this to be at least, yeah, see, I don't feel like that's big enough yet. And that's fine. So let's turn off Geoscatter. And I'm going to select this, this, and this, S2. Cool. Control A, rotation scale. Let's see if that fixes. See if I still have my stuff. I should. I'm going to need to tweak my distortion a little bit more. So let's do that. Now, we should just double it again. It should be fine. Shading. Yeah, 0.5. Yeah, it's mostly back. Can we give ourselves a little bit more here? There we go. I love the control of this. It's just good. And we could slow ourselves down if we wanted to by adding a, what do you call it? Subdivision surface set to dynamic, and then it would make these better. Because if I, we get the, do we have the polys? We get the polys. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Let's save. Save first. take that land and control 1. Give it a subdiv. Does that give us more? Maybe a little bit. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, it does. It does give us more cuts. And just to see what will happen. Save again. I kind of like it as a little bit more. Add a smoothing modifier at the end with like 5. Does that help us? I don't know if it does. Let's see. Not really, because it's doing it in the what you call it, material. So it's, I'll get rid of it. But the subdivision, I think we will leave. We can handle that level of polygon. So sure, and let's apply it. Okay. And maybe we want to play with that material a little bit. Well, let's turn back on Geoscatter first. Save again. This should be automatically okay because I rescaled it, so it should just reapply it with, yes, geometry that looks smaller or doesn't look as big. Gives us more trees too. Okay. Cool. Now, we don't maybe need it to be quite as high. I know I'm jumping around here, but I'm just kind of looking at it, trying to decide. Shading. I wanted it to be more prevalent, but maybe not quite so high. Let's increase this. Pull it out a little bit more. Okay, and then a height of 0.3. See if this, yeah, that's better. So it made a wider spread, but not quite as tall. And it goes all over everything. We could cut it a little bit so it's not quite so outliney. And that might be cool too. So let's see, the more white we have, is it? Yes, it is the white. Okay. So Shift A, search, noise, a search, ramp, factor to factor, select that. Yep, right. Bring up our blacks. Scale of 25. And let's bring down our blacks. Up our whites. Up our blacks. Okay, that might be good. Grab all of these, bring them out of my way. Because we want to take this, Shift A, search, combine color, or mix color. Mix color. there. And here, and multiply. And that goes to there. And this goes to our factor as well. And let's see what that looks like. Does that cut some of it out? Factor 1 certainly should, right? Yes, 1 certainly does. Let's bring it back. Okay, so that cuts it down so it's not quite everywhere anymore, but maybe we don't want quite 1. Let's go to like 0.75. Should bring back some, yeah, so we have some variation in height on it too, which is nice. That feels cool to me. Yeah, I like that. It's not quite so like, I don't know, inking a comic book anymore. Save. Good. And this is our node group. So we can really go do anything we want in here, including grab another texture and just dump it in there. What do we want to do though? I hear you, Michael. It's cold out there. I am with you. Glad to see you though. Just trying to decide what I want to do with this red. Because right now it's just like, it's red, because I just needed something in there. Well, I think let's do our normal thing. Let's start with the sheeting gray. So we have it, and we can just tweak to that, because I think we'll use it. Control group, up. Now we can grab this group, come back to here, paste, and then just move this to here. And it doesn't do much because it hasn't changed at all, but let's come to make sure. Tab A U cube projection. So it does have a UV. Well, yeah, Michael and I just wish we had work days. So there you go, Brian. You know. All right, tab. A work day. Anyway, what's this? Oh, I don't need that. Okay. Shift A, search, RGB. Maybe we go red. And mix color. Sorry, Michael. I'm with you. Yeah. Oh no, we don't want an auto landscape. I put it in the wrong spot. Or did I? No, we're in our subgroup. Why did it grab the whole thing? Oh, I know why I did. Because it's the same group. We need to make a new group. Now it's its own group. Tab. Yeah, that's no fun either, for sure. Mix, multiply, 100. So now it's a darker red color on our edge. It kind of feels rusty and ripped out of it. That's cool looking. Like it just tore through the ground. I am so psyched for that. Yeah, okay. We'll go with that for right now. That is more the vibe I was looking for. Well, I think the one thing I will do is I think I will punch it back up again a little bit for the displacement and crash blender. Where we at? An hour? Doing great. You're doing great, sweetie. Mm. But yeah, I'm glad I got off my butt and figured out how to pass attributes back and forth from geometry node stuff to the textures, which I've done before, but I'm glad I actually like did it this time because I think it makes this a lot cooler looking than it was before. Let's see. I think we should be good, right? Yeah, we're good. That was just, we lose the displacement when we don't have color turned on because I couldn't figure out a way to pass it to a displacement modifier in the 10 minutes I was playing with it beforehand. Let's go back to 0.5. Save. Cool. Yeah, a little higher is good now that it's not uniformly the same height everywhere. We can add that back. Okay. And turn back on geoscatter. Cool. Turn back on this. And we can decide, do we want to even bother putting, I don't know that we do, like bioplants or, biomechanical plants on it. I actually kind of like it better just as a weird, we kind of captured that infection thing better this time. So I kind of want to maybe just roll with that. Um, do we want some lights? I think we do want some lights. And I like the starkness of this silhouette too. I know I'm kind of jumping around what I'm saying I'm liking, but I'm liking it. Okay, so let's go through and do some lighting. The screws, I think, have what I want, don't they? Shading. Let's look and see. I think they might even have lights on them. They do. That's the lighting setup for the screw, and we're just gonna join it again. Group it. Okay. Control C. And come over to here. Shading plain gray. And we gotta go in and edit it. And this is the base one, not our modified one, which is just important to remember. Yep. And we go to emission, color, 10. Did it create us any? Did it give us any lights? I can't tell. Let's go look at the dark. Some. We have some light. Seems like it's mostly, well, I don't know if it's mostly from screws or not, but let's go look and see. Tab. We can change this scale to 0.1. That should make it bigger. Yeah. A little bit there. I don't think we're getting a lot of those though. Save, background, back up. No, it's there. It's on this thing. I don't know why it's not coming up to the top, but we can tweak around with that. But we are getting definitely lights on the thing, which is important. Okay. Then let's go to this ground. Shading. I've done this all with 2 materials, man. It's pretty cool. All right. So this is, which one is that? Yep, this is one we want to be in. Okay, cool. Here, let's grab a Shift A, search ambient occlusion, grab the AO to the color, and we have light. Probably inverted where we want it though, because we want light in the other side. Ramp, and invert our ramp. Yeah. Now we have light in the dark parts. Now let's change our surface back down. It doesn't super matter, but we want only local. Yeah. And that's where our infection is coming from. And I think rather than color, we want that on strength. Because I think we want to take this pre-dirt one and go to color. Yeah, we do. Oh, yeah, we do. Now, we could just modify this color value on 1 to make it like way higher than 1, or we could put a multiplier. And I think a multiplier just makes it easier to see. So let's do that. Multiply by 10. And we can make our distance 0.25 to bring it down more. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah, that's working for me. Cool. And there was light, and it was good. Cool. Let's change our background back up again. And I am kind of digging that. My only question is, do we want to do it to the same on the other one? And I think we might. So let's go back into shading and grab these 3. And then tab, paste them into to add to light. This is to because that will just be strength, and that will get rid of the other one on it if we do that. Well, we can do this. Should be all right. Shift A, search, add, or mix color. Mix color. We go to here and here and add. And take that. That should work to strength here. That should actually make those brighter, right? Without getting rid of it. They still there? Let's see what we got. Yeah, it feels like there's... Are they still there? This was that. I'm not getting much out of it anyway. And this was that. Are they still there? Yeah, they're still there. Okay. Cool. They're not as bright, but they're still there. Now we're going to do the exact same thing with search mix color here. We're going to take this. Come here. Come here. There we go. There we go. Color, mix, multiply. 1. And we're going to take that and another add. I'm going to add that to this. That should give us, yep, everything there. Cool. Which should give us red lights coming through all those little cut points, which is kind of cool. Gonna maybe make it even a little bit smaller, just a 0.1. I'm not sure how much difference it will make on these, but there we go. Layout. Save. Change our world color to dark. Let's see. Let there be Tron lights. And there were Tron lights. And it's pretty cool. I mean, it's pretty cool. I think we're approaching something I kind of like this time. Kind of the best elements of version 1 and 2. 2 being done by myself yesterday afternoon. Okay, turn back on the scatter. And I think this looks cool in daylight as well as dark. Whereas the other ones kind of needed dark to not look like ass. So, win. And I feel like this might be a good angle. Just kind of looking for something. Let's go to gray. Photographer. Why am I blind? Photographer. There we go. Camera. The Arri. And our trusty anamorphic lens set to 35. The resolution of that. And just so we can see what the heck we're doing. Geoscatter, trees, and display as, so I can see where some trees are. Cool. All right. Now I want a strong light, dark light on this one that we haven't really tried to play with super much recently, partially because it's a pain to do multiple angles with, but I kind of want it for this one. Just at least I want to make like one oomphy shot. Let's go to like there, save, and see what we're looking at. Photographer, yeah, focus, depth of field, yeah. Focus on our tower. We'll start making it out of mashed potatoes soon. Okay. Not bad. I want to grab our lighting thing. The lighting thing, yes, the lighting thing. Light control and light beam. SX10, scale it, SY, RY90, RX45. And maybe even more. I actually think I want to go all the way this time. Let's try this. There's our camera. All right. G0. I'm gonna get rid of this again. Okay. GZ. RZ. Save. I'm glad you know the mashed potatoes reference. I think Brian does as well. So we're all old here. It's cool. All right. If I give it a world just in case, because I want it to be totally jet black, but I don't want a lot of light coming from the background this time. We're not going to light this with the HDR. We're going to do it on our own. So we'll go grab Mud Road, Pure Sky. Sure. Add it. And world strength exposure -5. Pretty close to dark. Yeah, pretty close to dark. Almost looks like fog even without fog. But I think we're going to also add some fog. Shift S1, Shift A, mesh, cylinder. I never know which is the best one to use, in all honesty. But we'll do cylinder today. Go outside. There we go. 1, tab, 3. There we go. Tab, Control A, just gonna scale, M, new collection, Fodge. Just call it Fodge with material of Fodge. Okay. Shading. Delete it. Search, scatter, volume to volume, density of 0.05, anisotropy of 0.25. I don't know, why not? And it's very dark because we have no lights. Cool. That's what we wanted. Layout. Fog. Again, viewport display as wire and turn off selecting for it. Now I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay. So I want, okay. I want a sun, but I don't want it to hit our foreground, essentially. So let's try it and see what we get. We can do that a couple of ways, but maybe the easiest way is to just do a gobo. Light, sun, GZ. I kind of want it to mimic our light thing and go that way, pretty close to horizontally. It's low in the sun, low in the sky. Blah, 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 I can speak. Color, let's make it cold. So even like 9,000. So it's a cold light. And then, no, I'm not going to try Microsoft 365 Family for free. Mesh cube, S, Shift Y, just create a barrier. And over here. And let's give that barrier a material. It's going to be black, and it's going to be highly rough. So it's not, I mean, no reflecting coming through that at all. It should just be like a dark felt fabric. Gobo or scrim, whichever you want to call it. Save. And let's see what we have. That's getting closer to what I wanted. Let's turn off the fog for right now. Okay. I think the fog might be a bit powerful, and I think our light might be a bit bright. Sun, let's go down to like 0.5. Cool. Fog, back, and set it down to like 0.008. We need a bit more light, I think. I'm good with this. Let's grab our cube and drag it this way some, which should give us more light, right? Let's see. Yeah, maybe. Not feeling that yet, though. Where's the sun? Can we rotate it that way? It might even be that thing is causing. We might be getting too much bing off of the light beam. Let's move it to lights too. Even though it's not actually a light, but let's see what we got without the light beam. Oh yeah, that's pretty dark. So that's the problem. The light beam is too bright in relationship to our other stuff. So let's bring the sun back up to 1. Yeah, that's not bad. But I do want more light beam. But I like that. That is very, very bright. Let's see it first. Let's move it a little bit more this way, just to that side of the tree. Give it a bit more height even, and cut it down to hue saturation from 5 to like 1.5. 0. And let's see what we got. That's feeling better to me. My only fear is we're kind of losing our scale a little bit. And let's see if we can fix that with this guy just for a bit. See if that will make it more interesting. Not that he's right, but if a guy works, then I can If a guy works, we can just replace him. And crash it. Let's see. I wonder if we brought that in front of the tree even, if that would be cooler, because he's kind of not bad there. Problem is, this is illustration lighting. It doesn't work if we move the camera, which is just a pain in the ass, but whatever. Well, we'll play that game later. I want him dark, but I wanted that tree a little lighter. Can we increase the tree, increase the value to 2? Doesn't really. I mean, we could get rid of that tree, I suppose. But I'm not super feeling. That's the one thing I'm not feeling yet is, ironically, our camera angle. Okay. Bring Wallace down. Let's see. But I'm liking the design. So now it's just finding a way to like highlight it properly. Nope, nope, not yet. Maybe what would happen if we photographer went back to a 50? I do kind of like that more. I think that is better. I also might want a little bit more light. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wussing out. But I want a little bit more light there. Where's our sun? It's pointed that way. So it should be coming. We should be getting enough light from there that it doesn't matter. What if we just move it here? So it's literally just like kind of hitting our dude, and that's about it. Blocking him in that foreground. Again, lighting, it's the kind of thing you can play with for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. It's not really changing that, is it? It's not giving us more. Let's tilt the fog so I can see it without that. And maybe increase our sun, even if we change it back, just so I can see what it's doing better. So that's where our sun is hitting. This isn't doing anything at all right now. I don't think. Not really. I think we're gonna cheat. We're just gonna. Let me just get rid of that. Does it do anything? Oh, no, actually it was, and I kind of think I like it better without it. So, might be better to do it this way. fog. Definitely gives us more light on our person. Now we change our sun back down to 1. Now we need more light there. Actually, there we go. Let's see if we can't put a light right. He's a long way away from that tree, right? Yeah, he is not near that tree. Feels like he is, but he's not. Okay, light, Shift A, light area. Scale it to like 3 meters, so it's pretty soft. Bring it up, rotate it forward slightly like that. Give it a power of like 500 and a color of say 9,000, so it matches that sun. And let's see. I just want to get one right, and then we'll kill it. But let's see, power 5,000. It's definitely okay. So it's lighting that. That's the right space. It's even kind of the right amount or angle because he's still dark. Just a matter of finding our balance now. Cool. I think that's reasonably good. Is it hitting? It is. It's hitting too far on that. So we want it to be a lot more focused. Set this to spread of 90, which makes it way more powerful, I think, too. But let's see. 90 is definitely better. Maybe even 60. No, 90 is good. Power of 500 again. And fog on again. Let's save first. Fog on again. Yes, now we're getting that foreground separation from our guy, but this is still coming in dark, which is good. Where's our sun? What's it set to? It might be a little high too. If we set it to 0.5, what does that give us? Yeah, that's kind of neat. Do we like it? I mean, it's certainly evocative. Or would we rather just do a daytime stark kind of thing? I think we might. I know I'm spending all this time on this, and I'm like, I don't know. But let's turn off our area and bring our HDR back up to like minus 0.5. Bright! Get rid of our fog. What's that? Oh, and get rid of this guy. he is very bright too. Which way do we prefer? I kind of like it this way. Now, having gone through all of that, I kind of like seeing it. So maybe we will do this instead. Let's nuke that. Nuke that. I know. Sun, let's leave on. Let's go to exposure of -1. See if we can get sort of something that feels dark, but then we turn our area back on. Yeah, that gives us that light. That's feeling cool to me. I think, let's see, save. I just want to edit this material one more time. Let's bring this closer in just so it doesn't do this every time. Okay, tab. And I just want this to be a little darker here. Oh, that's why. That mix shouldn't exist. That should be better now, I think. Let's see. It's like it's getting too bright. Yeah, it's better. It feels good. It feels good, man. It feels good. Let's see. Is there anything else we want to do to make it feel more techy up here? Is that necessary? Or is it good like it is? I kind of just want to put like an antenna here, I think. And we can do that. So let's do that. Just something that makes it feel like it's not rock. Your brain just immediately goes, oh, right. It's, you know, because it's kind of got a rock vibe to it too. That's bizarre. Okay. Layout. And we'll go use one of Kai's because they're cool and he's cool. All right. And scale it down just a bit. Bring it over just a bit. Actually, let's bring it to that little growth thing. So it's like it's popping up out of this little zit thing. Doesn't need to be big. AU cube projection tab, and it's plain gray. Sure, we'll give it that. See how it looks. Because we also don't necessarily want it to look like it makes any sense. We just want it to have that shape. And I know I've gone over, but that's cool. Whatever. I just want to get it looking cool before I stop. Yeah, I think that helps us. It's like, why is there a tower? Yeah, who knows? Like, was this a shape that got morphed in? Did the ground transform into it? We don't know. And that to me is the cool part. I need another one up here though. Shift D. Object set origin, 3D cursor, object set origin, geometry to origin. There we go. And GZ. GY. I'm going to make this a little smaller. Cool. And we tried some stuff, and then we untried some stuff, but I'd rather we tried it than not. And I'd rather I stick to my guns and try to make something that works in daylight instead of just always making it dark, because dark is just easy. And that feels like it works. Let's turn back on fog, see if we like fog on it. I think we probably will, but yeah, just a bit of fog helps bring it forward. We need to put a new dude in there, but I think I'll do that after the stream because I'm going to just tweak it a little bit, and it's just a dude. It's not that big a deal. One more tower or antenna. One more antenna. There. And this one, Shift D. Three is a good number, balances it out nicely. Yeah, I think I feel good about that. Yes, I feel good about that. And I think with that, folks, I'm going to call it for the day. Like I said, I need to replace, Wallace here with somebody more interesting looking, but that's doable. And yeah, I will get it posted up. And I think I shared the geometry node setup last night on Mastodon, but it's trivial if you're interested, just to get those attributes passed through. But they're there. And again, thanks everybody for your support. I really appreciate it. And I will be back again on Monday with another one. I hope everyone has a great weekend. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, stay warm because it's supposed to be cold all weekend. And if you're other places, deal with your weather appropriately. Take care. See everybody later.